In the summer of 2001, career FBI official Tom Picard became acting director of the FBI because of intelligence intercepts. Concern about a terror attack was high. In July, Picard went to brief Attorney General John Ashcroft about al-Qaeda threats and other FBI matters. NBC News has learned that Picard now has told 9/11 Commission investigators that Ashcroft was somewhat dismissive of the latest information on al-Qaeda. Quote, "It wasn't something he wanted to hear more about. Ashcroft had other things on his mind," sources say Picard told the commission. Picard testifies publicly before the 9/11 Commission Tuesday and would not comment to NBC. Ashcroft's spokesman strongly denies the charge.
I think that Mr. Picard's recollection is just, totally off. Frankly, the Attorney General was interested in counterterrorism from the day he took office.
The allegation that Ashcroft was uninterested in terrorism 2 months before the attack is potentially explosive, because that same month, domestic agencies, including the FBI, were called to the White House and alerted to threats of an impending terror attack. Other witnesses also have told the commission that Ashcroft didn't seem interested. Roger Cressy, now an NBC News analyst, was Richard Clark's deputy in the White House Counterterrorism Office.
After our initial briefing, we saw no further interest by the Attorney General or his office in learning more about the al-Qaeda presence inside the United States.
Sources say Picard also will testify that Ashcroft rejected a proposal by the FBI to increase counterterrorism spending before 9/11. This May 2001 memo signed by Ashcroft lists 7 budget priorities. Terrorism is not even mentioned. Still, Ashcroft insists his terror funding record is solid.
We put our money where our mouth was. We were committed to counterterror.
Though a reluctant witness, Picard testifies right before Ashcroft Tuesday and is expected to put his former boss on the defensive. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Yes, the August 6th PDB was in response to questions of the president. There was no recommendation that we do something about this. The FBI was pursuing it. I really don't remember, Commissioner, whether I discussed this with the president.
Thank you.
Remember very well that the president was aware that there were issues inside the United States. He talked to people about this, but I don't remember the al-Qaeda cells as being something that we were told we needed to do something about.
Isn't it a fact, Dr. Rice, that the August 6 PDB warned against possible attacks in this country? And I ask you whether you recall the title of that PDB.
I believe the title was Bin Laden determined to attack inside the United States. Now, the PDB,
you.
No, Mr. Benveniste,
I will get into the...
I would like to finish my point here.
I didn't know there was a point.
Given that you asked me whether or not it warned of attacks. And
I asked you what the title was.
You said, did it not warn of attacks? It did not warn of attacks inside the United States. It was historical information based on old reporting. There was no new threat information, and it did not, in fact, warn of any coming attacks inside the United States.
Now, you knew by August 2001 of al-Qaeda involvement in the first World Trade Center bombing. Is that correct? You knew that in 1999, late 99, in the Millennium Threat period, that we had thwarted an al-Qaeda attempt to blow up Los Angeles International Airport and thwarted cells operating in Brooklyn, New York, and Boston, Massachusetts. As of the August 6th briefing, you learned that al-Qaeda members have resided or traveled to the United States for years and maintained a support system in the United States. And you learned that FBI information since the 1998 blind shake warning of hijackings to free the blind shake indicated a pattern of suspicious activity in the country up until August 6th, consistent with preparation for hijackings. Isn't that so?
Do you have other questions that you want me to answer as a part of the sequence?
Did you not? You have indicated here that this was some historical document. And I am asking you whether it is not the case that you learned in the PDB memo of August 6th that the FBI was saying it had information suggesting that preparations, not historically, but ongoing, along with these numerous full-field investigations against al-Qaeda cells, that preparations were being made consistent with hijackings within the United States.
What the August 6th PDB said, and perhaps I should read it to you.
We would be happy to have it declassified in full at this time, including its title.
I believe, Mr. Benveniste, that you've had access to this PDB.
But we have not had it declassified so that it can be shown publicly, as you know.
I believe you've had access to this PDB, exceptional access. But let me address your question.
Nor could we, prior to today, reveal the title of that PDB.
May I address the question, sir? Commissioner, this was not a warning. This was a historical memo prepared by the agency because the President was asking questions about what we knew about the inside. Now,
well, if you were willing to declassify that document, then others can make up their minds about it. The President was in Crawford, Texas at the time he received the PDB. You were not with him, correct?
That's correct.
Now, was the President, in words or substance, alarmed in any way or motivated to take any action, such as meeting with the director of the FBI, meeting with the Attorney General, as a result of receiving the information contained in the PDB?
The President was told this is historical information. I'm told he was told this is historical information, and there was nothing actionable in this. The President knew that the FBI was pursuing this issue. The President knew that the Director of Central Intelligence was pursuing this issue, and there was no new threat information in this document to pursue.
Did the President meet with the Director of the FBI between August 6th and September 11th?
I will have to get back to you on that. I'm not certain.
What is Scenario 12D? We know it's a war game scenario, that it has to do with airline counterterrorism. Why is that important enough to kill for?
Because it's no longer a game.
But if some terrorist group wants to act out this scenario, why target you for assassination?
Depends on who your terrorists are.
The men who conceived of it in the first place. You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility and begging to be smart-bombed.
I can't believe it. This is about increasing arms sales.
Mm-hmm.
You said they intend to bring us down in the middle of New York City? What if there is no bomb?
Well, how are they going to bring it down?
The same way a dead man can drive a car.
Modem protocols. Remote access. Somebody on the ground's flying your plane.
Bogey, sir.
Keep your course. We need to know our flight plan.
Byers, your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop in exactly 22 minutes.
The corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
The World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.